Morning. This is Bob Fleischman, your host and lift manager for the Tikkun Elevator Kolel. Today we're going to be flying in deep space. Get some light on the show subject here. And we're the deepest, darkest part of the year. This is the power of the planet Saturn as a Shem shines his light towards us. This is the deepest, darkest part of the year. We just passed the winter solstice, and now we're heading into Capricorn. I was listening to Yaakov Cronenberg, and Yaakov Cronenberg is saying that a person who has a rising sign, which is in Capricorn, feels like he's constantly in jail or he's closed in such a way that he can't get out. Because what it is winter is really falling on us now. The darkness is every place. Right now, the moon is 26.72 days old, and we are heading towards Rosh Chodesh. It's a long piece of Zohar today, and I'm going to abbreviate it as much as I can to try to get through it, or we may have to do it in two parts. So let's start. The Zohar today is on Parshas Bekates. It's Taf Kuf Tzadi Vav on the base. And the place that we're particularly, that is in the Zohar itself, and in the Matak B'Davashis and Parshas Bekates, it's up on page Kuf Tzadi, 190. Now, one of the things that we have to remember, because I know Bernie Rabinowitz asked me, what about the special Zohar for Hanukkah? So let's try to understand what's going on in the Zohar. The Zohar in Parshas Bekates is talking about Yosef. Yosef is the Indian of Bris. Yosef is the concept of taking Kedusha and planting it in our world. And that's what Yosef meant. So when we say that we see like the Gon, I mentioned this yesterday. He wanted to lead us in a path that we should understand when we said that Yosef, when he was going to see his brother with Toab and Sadeh, that he was getting off the track. He was lost in the Sadeh. And he said Sadeh is a lashon of Malchus, of femininity. So the most beautiful man in the world, the strongest, most powerful man, potentially man in the world at 17 years old, is full of the adolescent, adolescence. And as a result of that, he could be tempted. And he runs into his brother, and the brothers throw him into a pit and then sell him down into a Mitzrayim where he winds up in a pit again. As we saw this yesterday. Question is how to get out of the pit. What's the purpose of getting out of the pit? What is the whole story of Yosef about? Is this whole story really, in the deepest sense, is about the relationship between Yesod and Malchus. So we're talking about the Yesod of Malchus of Atzilus. So let's start over here at the bottom with Rebbe Shimon. Pasuk Rebbe Shimon, V'amad L'farish Masha Kosas, Rebbe Shimon began to explain what is written. Reichaim im Isha asher ahavatu. So he goes to Mefarish Tochazi. So he wants to explain what this pasuk means. You say, see life with a woman, with your wife, it means with asher ahavata, that you love. So it sounds like it's pretty straight out, right? And Mefarish Tochazi explains, come and see. Hi krab arazi you. But this pasuk is really talking about an upper secret, an inner secret. Bava rei pasuk zeh hu besod elyon. And we've explained, it's been explained and talked about before. It's already been explained in another place. When it says see life through the woman, that is the concept of the next world. Chaim in the next world. So he means what? It is the inner root of Zer Anpin. Hanekroyim Chaim, with that inner roof, which is the life force that comes through Zer Anpin. Hanimshachim lo Mahabina, that comes to Zer Anpin from Bina. Shehisod Olam Haba, because Bina is the secret of the next world. The Zakol Hu Bar Nash, the Zaki Bey the Koyos. Sha'ashrei ha'adam sha'zeicha l'kabel ha'ara me'elo ha'mochin karoi, that is a man who is able to properly be able to receive those mochin. V'amar Shlomo Melech, and Shlomo Melech says, Ata ben Adam, you, son of man, sheyesh l'cha achiza im zer anpin, who is able to actually put himself in the position where he is holding on to zer anpin. Ray C, lihishtadl lahamshach zer anpin, so then you have to see then to to work on bringing down Zer Anpin, Anikra Chaim, who's called life, liyachto, and make a yichud with that. Im asher ahavta pirush isha. So they want to say, well, when he says the woman that you love, the Knesset Yisrael, the woman, the loved woman, is the Knesset Yisrael. Knesset Yisrael means the gathering of Yisrael. It means actually Malchus. He Malchus. The Knesset Yisrael, another word for Malchus. But B'Knesset Yisrael, HaKasev B'Daber V'Lo B'Ishto Mamish. So he wants you to know that we're not talking about a man's wife. We're talking actually about the Shechina. Begin the Ba Kasiv Ava, because only in the yeshiva, in the Shechina, that we have Lefi Sharak Ba, only on that Shechina, Kasiv Ava, Mashalo, Betzino, Etzel, Ishto Mamish. So this idea I don't know, but he says that this we see by the Shechina, we see the word love. Shechina is loving us all the time. But he says that's where the real word love applies, and not to a man's wife. So he says, "V'avas olam avtecho." Pirish HaKadosh Baruch Hu Omer Yisrael. Kodesh Baruch Hu said to Yisrael, "Ki ba'osa ava she'ani ochev v'zamalchus hanikvus olam." That love which I love for Malchus, which is a concept of olam, kain ahavtecho, the same way I love you. V'amer Amosai, when is this? Masai ohev HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. When does Hashem love his people? B'shata the sitra the yamina achid ba. At the time, shatzad hayamin, that the right side, which means chesed, shuha chesed is their anpin. Ochad b'hamalchus, he is holding on to malchus. But so the hachibuk, in the secret of something that's a much deeper subject, or it's a different subject, with the subject of hugging, besod hachibuk. So v'yamidu tachbekeni. Now this is a pasuk, and so we see a lot in Zohar. Is that with your right arm you should hug me? Sha'az hu shas yichud, because this is the beginning of the shas of the yichud. So he describes like this: is that there's a sequence that in our prayers, particularly in certain places in the prayers we saw Mashiv Ruchim, the Gashem, that particular prayer where we start over there. This has to do with hugging the Shechina with your left arm. And then when you come to Kadosh, then you're coming to hug her with the right arm. And then after that, she's in front of you and you're actually breathing or kissing into her. This whole process of what we understand in a physical sense is going on in the spiritual world. And through this yichud that takes place is a hamshacha of love to the Jewish people. Sham HaKadosh Baruch Hu Omer Yisrael. The Kodesh Baruch says to Yisrael, Al Kein Mashachtecha Chesed. So therefore, I'm going to extend to you Chesed. So he said, Pirish the fee Ahavascha Sha'afach Sayach, so that there is love for you. V'chein Ani Mamshech Alecha Chesed. So there, I'm going to bring you some kindness. Kindness Chesed Elyon, upper kindness. Derek HaMalchus, that comes from the Malchus of Atzilus, and Makabelas Aris HaChesed is their Anpin, who has received now the glow or the light of Chesed from Zer Anpin, HaChibet B'Shas HaYichud, who is hugging her at the time when they make a Yichud. That's a whole process which we see in our lives, but by the same token, it's happening on the upper worlds, and a person can have Kavanah in this direction. That's what we want to do. Now remember that we talk about Yosef HaTzadik. Yesterday we learned that Yosef HaTzadik was not a tzaddik until he passed the test with the wife of Potiphar. Once that happened, then he was straight to become the leader of the Jewish people in the sense of making a oneness, or what we call a chibur, of male and female in the upper worlds. So let's go on. It says, "Mamshech lefarish pasuk she'amar shetira lahamshech hachayim shel zer anpin." So now we're going to go on. And we're going to see that a person has to extend, he has to be working on the hamshacha, the extension out of the life force of Zer Anpin, the Malchus and Nikra Isha, the Malchus which is called Isha. Now this is really a great subject of the Zohar. Kol Yemei Chai Hevlecha, all the days of your life, and then this word called Hevel. Hevel really is air, hot air, or no air. It's just something that's nothing. as called Osam Ayamim Shehem Spheros, all the days, which are the Spheros, the Zer Anpin, V'achayim Shehem HaMochin, the Zer Anpin, and then the life force itself, which is inside of the Spheros, which is called Mochin, Hashaychim El Malchus, which really belong to Malchus, and the pattern is that what Malchus needs to become something other than just air is to be built up through the Gevuros that come and the Chsadim that come into Zer Anpin. His job is to sweeten those Gevuros. So let's go. Malchus and Nikros Hevel Bisman HaChurban V'Hagalah. So she's called nothing, like just air. At the time that this is the Malchus is called air at the time of what we're in right now. The Visha'ata because now she's caused to become like just air, vapor. He nikras havlucha. So therefore she's called your vapor. So therefore I am commanding you, the Yached HaChaim Al Yonim Shel Zer Anpin, to put together the Chaim of the upper light of Zer Anpin, Ima Malchus, together with Malchus. Begin the Ha is Kashras B'Chaim, the fish of Bizman Habayis, Hasem B'Kusheres Ima Chaim Al Yonim Shel Zer Anpin, because at the time that the base of Mikdash was Chaim, then at that time there was a yichud between Zer Anpin and Malchus, and as a result of that, a tremendous shefa was pouring onto the Jewish people and into the world in general. V'hihi olam d'chayim sharyim bei. V'hihi olam kashekoshrim osa im osam achayim al yonim shazer anpin. And this is a kind of life that comes about when she ties herself to that life force which is inside of Zer Anpin. Az osam achayim shorim bo. So then that life force is now dwelling inside of her. Before she was just there. So therefore that is our purpose, is to work to make a yichud between Malchus and Zer Anpin. Because in this world there is no life force. Now in our world, the fact that she's in, we are all in exile. In Olam Habriya. Oz he nefredes b'Zer Anpin, because when Zer Anpin is in Etzilus and the next world out from Etzilus is Bria, but it's not Etzilus anymore. When she's in Bria, then there's no connection between Zer Anpin and Malchus, and so therefore our job is to bring her out of Bria with all of the good things that she has with her and make a yichud with Zah. V'lo sharim b'chayin Zah. She doesn't have any direct relationship with Zah. Begin the inun tachas shemesh. Shachayim elo mis akvein lamata b'Zer Anpin, because the chayim that she wants is held back from down below. Hanikra shemesh, from Zer Anpin, who's called the sun. V'lo mata v'hacha inin the harin the haku shimsha v'lo magiyim kan malchus shabolam abriya. So the malchus which goes down into the olam abriya, particularly at nighttime, but that's actually our case because we're in Galus. So the Malchus that goes into Olam Abriya, she lacks the ha'ara, the glow that comes from Zer Anpin. She is not able to get any light from him. That is the Malchus left. Malchus, that is, Zer Anpin left from his relationship with Malchus. B'yom shenechrav Beis Hamikdash, from the day that the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. So that the sun became darkened as it went out. What does it mean that the sun got dark? We don't want to say that the light of Zer Anpin, which is coming to him from Bina, is actually darkened then. Because then it said then the sun got dark. But what it wants to say is shall choshech hashemesh b'tzeisa. What does it mean that it got dark when it went out? B'tzeisa davka, it means when it goes out. Behind it, the salik, the horiv nahir, that its light, it moves itself away from this malchus, which is now in galus. Shenistalak or lamala, below here lamata the yisod she'ayir lamalchus, and it doesn't shine any further into yisod. when it's going to shine into Malchus. Kamata'at Amar, like those who say, a tzaddik Ovid, Hashem, the tzaddik is lost. The connection is lost. I have to give it a little parenthetical thought about this, so let me go over this. Tzaddik shu ha-yisod, tzaddik is the idea of yisod. Now, where is yisod? Yisod is on the middle line, below Tiferes. So yisod Tiferes is Zer Anpin. Zer Anpin has Chesed Gevurah Tiferes, and that's a Chanhod within him. And all of those pull down, all of the oros that go through that system wind up in Yesod. And Yesod's job, which is, you were talking about Yosef, is to take the Kedusha from that Shefa, which is coming for Bina, going to Zer Anpin, and deliver it into Malchus. So going back, he says, Atzadik Shu HaYesod, Avid Ora V'Shefa Habal Lo Mehashemesh, it loses the Yesod as a result of this. The light that reaches the Yesod stops. L'hashpia b'malchus, it's not able to b'shpia into malchus again. V'chein omer rei chayim im isha, so therefore it says, see life with a woman. Kol yemei chay havlocha, as long as this air, this empty air is with you. Asher nasan l'chal tachas hashemesh, that is given to you underneath the sun. Shepirusha rei l'harei, l'hamshik ha'aras ha'mochim shel zer anpin. So this, you have to see that your job is to be able to bring the ha'ara of Zer Anpin, ha'nikroyim chayim, ha'shaychim el malchus, which really belong to Malchus. In other words, we said before, the words are, Zer Anpin is full of 5 gevuros and 5 chesadim. The gevuros are given to the nukva, but she's made out of gevuros. And this is the vort, I said in a shir earlier today, that was said in a vorse that Noshim Daitun Kalos. So women have light minds, but doesn't mean light. Kal is a number of 5 times 26. 5 times 26 comes out to be 130. 130 actually represents the mochi, the life force of the woman. The woman is a creative object. All she does is take physical things and make things out of them. Men are different. They really come from the sun. So they come from a much higher place. But down here on the earth, that's where feminine things are found. And that's the meaning, the real meaning of Nashim, women. Their minds are kal. It means that they are creative force, and they don't have chesadim in them. Chesadim belong to Zah. But when the two mate, then Zah gives his chesadim to her gevuros. Gevura by itself is a powerful, destructive aspect, but when it's sweetened, and when the man is giving to the woman, which is what his job is, the male element to her, and they can actually come together. So therefore, that's what actually causes this to happen. So let's read one more, and let's see. I think we might have been, let me see. Asher Nasan, I'm going to read at the top of the, about the Devash, we'll finish up here. Asher Nasan l'chal tachas hashemesh, that are given you underneath the sun. Shebirusha rei lahamshik ha'aretz hamokim shel zer anpin. What you want to do is bring into the woman the ha'ara, that is the glow, radiance. I haven't got a great word for it yet, but it's not the etzem of the light. It's not the light itself. It's a secondary light, which we call a ha'ara. So in other words, it's a glow that comes, our radiance that's radiating out of Zer Anpin, and it's supposed to go to the nukva. Hanikroyim chayim. These radiance is called the life force itself. I mean, you know, it's inside of all of us. In other words, not a shaychim al malchus that really belong to her. Hanikras hevel, and she is called hot air, or just air. Asher habenas and the kodesh baruch hu koach, that Hashem gave to you, the koach, the hamshech chaim elo shehem tachazev, that with this to extend down this life force which is underneath Zer Anpin el malchus to malchus. So let's go do one more, and maybe later when I get back, I have to go to shul. So maybe after, when I get back, I'll do another one, because this is the Hawk gave us a big piece of Zohar over here. Amar al Masha Kosses, so he says in this particular pasuk, Ki helkacha b'chayim. So he is your portion in life. Pirush, Dalhu Shimsha B'Sihra. This talks about the relationship between the sun and the moon. Zecho chelkakal, the grown, this is your portion. To cause, she'eschaver v'tisyached the hu zer anpin, to cause a yichud between the sun and the moon. Im Halavana Shehi HaMalchus, with the moon, which is called Malchus. Ayidei Ma'asecha Atovim, because you do good mitzvahs, you do things, you listen to shiurim, you go to shul, you pray, and you try to learn Torah. Ube'ena the Me'echel Sikra B'Shimsha. So he said that we need Ve'anu Tzrichim Lahavi V'La'alos Es Ha'aretz HaMalchus. And what we need to do is take the glow that comes from Malchus, Hanikros Levana, which is called the moon. Now the moon is reflective light, right? Shuhu Sod Haman, which is the concept of what does reflection mean? It means it has something comes to it, and then it gets off a radiance of its own going backwards. Now this is all brought out in the Rav. We see a lot of different places, but we're not going into the whole thing right here. So Hanikwas Levana Shuhu Sod Hamayim Nukvin. What's Mayim Nukvin? Mayim Nukvin is the cry that the empty air is giving out because it wants to live and it wants to bring life into itself. This is the form of the female who is craving life within herself, and this is our concept of our earth. So Shuhu Sod Haman B'Zer Anpen Adikros Shemesh. And so this is the concept of bringing this Mayim Nukvin, the beseeching, the desire, going to Zer Anpen. The Shimsha B'Sihura. And then the sun, what happens then is the sun, when it's sought in this way and asked and prayed to in this way, gives back to Malchus, V'Lahavi as Ha'ara Zer Anpen, who is called Zod Hamayim Duchrin, which is called downward moving light. In other words, light goes up, light comes back down. But without the going up, you're not going to get anything coming back down. She needs. Kedei the lo la'afra shalom, so that they shouldn't become separated. Shalom la'afra osam ayidei zachet va'avod, because we make mistakes, and the mistakes that we made separate and put the shechina into galus. V'do hu chulaka the bar nasha. This is the person of a man. So this is the portion of a man. Because as a result of him doing mitzvahs and masim tovim, shagaram la'ayil laman or la'il, when we're learning Torah, listening to Torah, when we're working in the Torah, when we're doing mitzvahs, putting on a tefillin, we put on our towels, and all the different mitzvahs that we do, all of these act as man. We are sending a signal to up above that we want to be makasher ourselves to you. The male b'kul alma the asi, in order to be able to have the kedei the zakos, the schos, in order to merit yedei zel olam haba, through this to reach the next world. Okay, so just in conclusion, the Zohar holds that the next world is right here. We may not be able to see it because we live in a world in which everything is separated, but we can certainly sense it and actually embrace it and come to a various highest levels. This is our purpose in life. Thank you very much for listening today. I might get a chance to